welcome to episode 3. Now, no, Miss Hannah has not lost her hair. It's in a ponytail. I just put a headband on so it looks like I have no hair. Or I could pretend to be a pirate. But I just didn't want to freak you guys out because this does look a little different. Okay, so welcome to episode 3. Alright, since yesterday I ended with art, so today I'm going to start with story time. Because remember, Miss Hannah's going to do the videos different. Instead of a huge big one, we're going to do little ones each day. That way your guys will be able to pay attention, and then that way I won't be so tired. So, today we're going to do a story, and it's going in theme with spring. Because as you know, it is now springtime. And we're going to talk about a little bit more spring later when we talk with Quigley. Yes, Quigley is here, so we'll get to talk with him later. So first we're going to do our story, which our story is Horton Hatches an Egg by Dr. Seuss. Now, how many of you love Dr. Seuss? I do. My favorite is Green Eggs and Ham. Now, I don't know what your favorite is, but if you want to, you can leave it in the comments at the end of the video and tell me what your favorite Dr. Seuss. We're going to get started with our story, and then we'll move on to our next thing. Horton hatches an egg. Sighed Maisie, a lazy bird hatching an egg. I'm tired, I'm bored, and I have kinks in my leg. From just sitting here day after day, it works. How I hate. I'd much rather play. I'd take a vacation, fly off for a rest. If I could find someone to stay on my nest. If I could find someone, I'd fly away free. Must be terrible sitting on an egg to hatch. Then Horton the elephant passed by her tree. "Hello," called the lazy bird, smiling her best. "You've nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit on my egg in my nest?" Do you think elephants sit on eggs? No. The elephant laughed. "Why, of all silly things? I haven't feathers, I haven't wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so immense." "Tut, tut," answered Maisie. "I know you're not small, but I'm sure you can do it. No trouble at all. Just sit on it softly, you're gentle and kind. Come be a good fellow, I know you won't mind." "I can't," said the elephant. "Please," begged the bird. "I won't be gone long, sir, I give you my word. I'll hurry right back. Why, I'll never be missed." "Very well," said the elephant, "since you insist. You want a vacation, go fly off and take it. I'll sit on your egg, I'll try not to break it. I'll stay and be faithful, I mean what I say." "Toodaloo," sang out Maisie and fluttered away. I guess Maisie really wanted to go on vacation. Lucky Maisie. The first thing to do," murmured Horton. "Let's see. The first thing to do is prop up this tree and make it stronger. That has to be done. Before I get on it, I must weigh a ton." And actually, elephants do weigh 1 ton. It's a fact. They weigh 1 ton, which is actually 2,000 pounds. That's a lot. Then carefully, tenderly, gently, he crept up the trunk to the nest where the little egg slept. Oh, too far. Then Horton the elephant smiled. "Now that's that." And he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat. And he sat all that day, and he kept the egg warm, and he sat all that night through a terrible storm. It poured and it lightened, it thundered and rumbled. This isn't much fun, the poor elephant grumbled. I wish he'd come back, 'cause I'm cold and I'm wet. I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget. Do you think Maisie will forget about her egg? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure she'll come back. But Maisie by this time was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach, and having such fun, such a wonderful rest, decided she'd never go back to her nest. That poor egg! I hope she goes back to her nest. So Horton kept sitting there day after day, and soon it was autumn, the leaves blew away. And then came winter, the snow and the sleet, and icicles hung from his trunk and his feet. But Horton kept sitting and said with a sneeze, "Whew! I'll stay on this egg and I won't let it freeze. I meant what I said and I said what I meant, an elephant's faithful 100%. Oh, poor Horton. He's a very faithful elephant. So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through, and then came the springtime with troubles anew. His friends gathered round and they shouted with glee, "Look, Horton the elephant's up in a tree!" They taunted, they teased him, they yelled, "How absurd! Old Horton the elephant thinks he's a bird." They laughed and they laughed, then they all ran away, and Horton was lonely, he wanted to play. But he sat on the egg and continued to say, "I meant what I said what I meant, an elephant's faithful 100%. His friends are not very nice. No matter what happens, this egg must be tended. But poor Horton's troubles were far from ended. For while Horton sat in there so faithful and so kind, 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind. Oh no! He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming right straight at his heart. Oh no! I hope nothing bad happens to Horton. Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high, and he threw out his chest, and he looked at the hunters as much as to say, "Shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I meant what I said what I meant, an elephant's faithful 100%. He's a very brave elephant. I'd be scared. But the men didn't shoot. Much to Horton's surprise, they dropped their 3 guns and they stared with wide eyes. "Look!" they all shouted. "Can such a thing be? An elephant sitting on top of a tree. It's strange, it's amazing, it's wonderful, new. Don't shoot him, we'll catch him. That's just what we'll do. Let's take him alive while he's terribly funny. We'll sell him back home to a circus for money." Oh goodness. And the first thing he knew, they had built a big wagon with ropes on the front for the pullers to drag on. They dug up his tree and they put it inside, with Horton so sad that he practically cried. "We're off," the men shouted, and off they all went, with Horton unhappy 100%. Poor Horton. He's going through a lot watching this egg for Maisie. Up out of the jungle, up into the sky, up over the mountains 10,000 feet high. Then down, down the mountains and down to the sea went the cart with the elephant, egg, nest, and tree. Right up there on the top. Then out of the wagon and onto a ship out over the ocean, and ooh, what a trip! Rolling and tossing and splashed with the spray, and Horton said day after day, I meant what I said what I meant, but oh, am I seasick 100%. Oh! Now, seasick means if you're on a boat for a while and the rocking back and forth makes you, ooh, not feel good. After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. All ashore, the men shouted, and down with the lurch went Horton the elephant, still on his perch, tied onto a board that could just scarcely hold him. Bump! Horton landed, and then the men sold him. Goodness gracious, poor Horton. Sold to a circus, then week after week they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Weehawken, and Washington too, to Dayton, Ohio, St. Paul, Minnesota, to Wichita, Kansas, to Drake, North Dakota. And everywhere thousands of folks flocked to see and laugh at the elephant up in a tree. Poor Horton grew sadder the farther he went, but he said as he sat in the hot, noisy tent, I meant what I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. Then one day the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not far from Palm Beach. And waddling along way up high in the sky, who, of all people, should chance to fly by but that old good-for-nothing bird, Runaway Maisie. Still on vacation and still just as lazy. And spying the flags in the tents just below, she sang out, What fun! Well, I'll go to the show. She's not a very good bird watching her egg, is she? And she swooped from the clouds through an open tent door. Good gracious, gasped Maisie. I've seen you before. Poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, wonder what's going to happen. There rang out the noisiest, ear-splitting squawks from the egg that he'd sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild, alive scratching. My egg! Shouted Horton. My egg! Why, it's hatching! Now, is it actually Horton's egg? No, but he sat on it the longest. But it's mine, screamed the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work was all done and now she wanted it back. It's my egg, she sputtered. You stole it from me. Get off of my nest and get out of my tree. Poor Horton backed down with a sad, heavy heart. That wasn't very nice of her. She left her egg and Horton took care of it, and she did nothing, and now she wants it back. That's not nice. But at that very instant, the egg burst apart, and out of the pieces of red and white shell from the egg that he'd sat on so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something whiz. It had ears, and a tail, and a trunk just like his. Oh, look! And the people came shouting, What's all this about? They looked, and they stared with their eyes popping out, and then they cheered, and they cheered, and they cheered more and more. They'd never seen anything like it before. My goodness, my gracious, they shouted. My word, it's something brand new. It's an elephant bird. And it should be like that. Because Horton was faithful, and he sat and he sat. He meant what he said, and he said what he meant. say? An elephant's faithful? 100%. And they sent him home happy? 100%. That was a very good story. I really like that one. Now, do elephants hatch eggs? No. Is there such thing as an elephant bird? No. But that story teaches that sometimes people aren't very good with their things and they let other people do it for them. And then when they want it back all of a sudden, it's not very nice. So we should all be faithful and kind like an elephant, 100%. All right, now that our story time is over, it's time to exercise. So today we're going to do something different. We're going to be standing most of the time, and we're going to do 2 movements, and then we'll stretch, okay? All right, so first, we're going to jog in place. So that means instead of running around the room, you're going to stay in your spot. We're just going to jog in place, all right? All right, ready? Here we go. We're going to jog in place. You're going to lift your knees up. Swing your arms back and forth, and you're just staying in your spot. We're not going around the room like this. We're going to stay in our spot and jog. All right, now, let's go fast. Fast, fast. Oh, and stop. Ooh. Oh, that was too fast for me. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to do some lifting. Now, if you don't want to lift something too heavy, that's okay. All you need to do is pretend there's something in your hands and lift up. If you do want to lift something, you can pretend you're lifting a pillow. So, not too heavy. Or you can just pretend to be lifting something like this. But Miss Hannah's going to use a pillow. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the pillow, and we're going to put it out, back, up, down. You guys ready? Okay, we're going to do 10 of these, okay? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. All right. Now let's do some stretches. I want you to put your feet together. Lift your arms from your side up to the sky and stretch. Stretch real tall, reach the ceiling. Come on, stretch. Oh, and put your arms back down. Now, I want you to take your right arm and put it over here. And you're going to hold it with your other arm and stretch it. Stretch. Oh, stretch. Ah, stretch. Good. Now you're going to take your left arm. You're going to put it over here. Take your other arm and stretch. 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 That feels good. Doesn't it feel good to exercise? All right. Now that we're done exercising, let's get back to our cozy corner. Whew. That was a good workout. All right. Now to our next part of our day is the joke of the day. Are you guys ready? All right. Here's the joke. Does February like March? No, but April may. Get it? Because February and March and April and May. Oh goodness, so silly, so silly. All right, now before we get to the part where we talk to Quigley, I want to show you guys what I got in the mail so that way we can start doing it in our next segments. So I have got some new posters so we can do different activities with. I got an alphabet poster. I got a numbers poster for counting. And then we have the seasons. Yes, very good. And then I also have another emotions poster so we can talk about our emotions. I also have one that we might do later this year, a time poster. Now, if some of you have started telling time, then it'll just be a review. But if you guys have not been able to tell time yet, we'll work on it together. I also have a weather poster, so we can talk about the weather. And I have, yes, the days of the week. And see, this one starts on Sunday, where mine starts on Monday. So they're different. But we'll still do the same thing, talking about days of the week. I also have a poster for my colors, which we talk about. And I also have one for shapes. We'll also do shapes here later. Then I have another numbers poster where it goes all the way to 100. We'll also do that later too in these videos. And I have so on and so forth. I have transportation. I've got months of the year. Farm animals. My student loves farm animals. We always like to talk about what sounds they make. I also have a sports poster, which that'll be fun to do, maybe for exercises. Maybe once in a while if Miss Hannah can get outside, and then we can do exercises together. And then I also have opposites, which we will talk about that later too this year. Because opposites are a little bit of a hard concept to understand. So I got those that we will be using in my videos. Also, another thing, I have got these cool things. It's called alphabet soup. Here, I'll show you the box so you can see what it looks like. Now, what we'll do with these is that when we get to the part of the videos that talks about the letter of the day, I will pull out a can that has the letter of the day, and we'll talk about it. So like for instance, I have my alphabet soup letter A, and we'll open it up and we'll see what it's inside. And for letter A, there is the uppercase A, and then there is the lowercase a. Then it has stuff that start with A in it, like acorn. Oops, upside down. Alligator. Ant. Apple. Now, yes, you probably would say gorilla. This one is an ape. An ape. So when we start doing letters of the day, Miss Hannah will pull out a can for each day when we do a letter. When it's time to do the letter of the day in the video. Then, last thing I want to show you guys is when I do the next video with our practicing our breathing, I have a rain stick that will help us focus on our breathing. It kind of is it's just a relaxing tool, and I always like them because I like to watch the beads fall. So this is what I'm talking about. This is a rain stick. So when we practice our breathing, what we'll do is we'll breathe in and then breathe out. See? See how relaxing that is? Plus it's always fun to watch. So we'll use that when we do our breathing exercises at the end of the video segment that gets to the breathing exercises. All right, now enough of that. Now it is time to talk to our friend Quigley. All right, Quigley, are you ready? Oh, don't be shy. Come on, it's not that bad. It's only to the camera. I think Quigley's a little shy. Quigley, I bet if they're really quiet, they'll let you come out and say hi. Can you guys be really quiet with me so that way Quigley doesn't get scared? Okay. Come on, Quigley. Don't be shy. Oh, crap, you can see that. I need to. Hold on. Come on, Quigley. Don't be shy. Our friends are excited. Quigley, don't be shy. Our friends are excited to see you. Come on. Come on, don't be shy. Everyone say hi to Quigley. Oh, Quigley, come on. It's all right. Come on. All right, this is my friend Quigley. He is, how old are you? He's 4 years old. And do you go to school? He does go to school. Do you go to school at a building or do you go to school at home? He goes to school at home. Kind of like you guys right now, you're at home doing schoolwork. Interesting. Okay. All right, so Quigley, we're going to talk about spring. So we're going to talk about what spring looks like. I've got something in my eye. My gosh. Okay. How do you have all these fuzzies everywhere? Quigley, we're going to be talking about spring, and we're going to talk about what spring looks like. Yeah, like if you go outside and it's spring, what do you see? What do you see when it's spring outside? Yes, you see flowers getting ready to bloom. You see birds singing. One of the things I like to look for when it's spring is the robins. Robins are the birds that have an orange belly, and they usually sing when it's time for the spring. What are some other things that show us when spring is coming? That's right, yes. Usually when spring comes, that means baby animals are born, like birds, cows, squirrels, bunny rabbits. What's some other animals? Yeah, like other farm animals like pigs, or you could see horses. So a lot of farm animals are born during the spring. So yeah. Oh. Yes, spring is one of my favorite seasons. But I will have to say that fall is my #1 season. What's your favorite season? Summer. Why is summer your favorite season? Oh, because you like to go swimming? What's your favorite season? That's a good season. Well, all right. Quigley, I think it's almost time for our video to be done. Do you want to say bye to everybody? Bye, everybody.